Choice. Interesting place choice is. So most of the time, when we are going through life, we are actually unaware that we have choices. We see our choices quite limited, very little. And we go through life unaware that there are a million other possibilities, other ways of responding to all that is happening in life in front of us. That we have a choice of how we can feel. We have a choice of what we can think. We have a choice of what we do. What is that choice? The choice is actually, in a basic sense, quite simple. It is to make a choice between love consciousness and fear consciousness. It's actually looking at the situation and going, how am I going to choose? How am I going to respond? What's my choice? Which consciousness is going to be the consciousness that I will use to view whatever it is that is coming in front of me, or is in front of me already? If I use fear consciousness, then all my activity gets directed towards protection and defense and survival and procreation. It never talks about a great purpose in my life. There isn't one, other than protecting and defending, surviving and procreating. There's nothing more than that. There is no great experience. There is no expression of what is within you. So, this really stimulating point in our life is when we recognize that we do have a choice in what happens. So, right now we have great, global economic failure, whatever you want to call it. How do we respond to that? We can respond one way, is to be anxious and fearful of our future and start building all kinds of security and saying, okay, I need to do this, I shouldn't invest in shares, maybe I should invest in gold, I should do this, I should do that. It's all being driven by that. Or we can do something else. We can pretend that it's all okay, that we will get past it. Pretend. So that other people don't know that we're really afraid. But even if you're pretending, the choices that you have can get very constrained and very restricted, because all of them have to fit within protection, defense, survival and procreation. That's all your choices are. Or we can see it with love consciousness. And when you view this with love consciousness, you see so many possibilities. So many. Most of them so large that your fear consciousness takes one look at it and hides and goes, whoa, 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 I can't do that, it's too big. It is interesting when you talk to young kids and we see them, they see remarkable things for their lives. They see huge destinies. And then what happens is their parents and everybody else around them who are stuck in this beat that great destiny out of their lives and stick them into fear consciousness. Tell them you can never amount to much. You can never live those kinds of dreams. Because you know what? If you do, if you create those dreams, you are going to be disappointed. So we are so afraid of disappointment that we'd rather live in anxiety and feeling all our lives like something is not quite right. We have a choice. Every moment, moment to moment, we have a choice. Let us imagine that you faced an extraordinarily stressful situation and you reacted Because over here, it's all about reaction. You reacted in fear. And you responded. Perhaps you responded fight or flight. You responded by aggression. And you did something, and you looked at that later and thought, why did I do that? Now, in that moment, you have a choice. You have a choice. Shall I stay in fear, which means I'll continue to do the same behaviors, or shall I step out of it and say, let me love this person. Let me love this situation and see what comes up. The things that we teach in our programs is to help that, is to help people discover that and find ways of being in this consciousness. It is inspiring. Suddenly, problems are no longer problems. They just become opportunities. Everything becomes something for you to see in a greater sense. Everything becomes a calling that draws you forth into your destiny, into your life journey. Extraordinary. So there is a choice every day, every moment. It is not about apathy, about doing nothing. Some people think that a choice of love is to do nothing. Oh, if that person is trying to kill me, do nothing. No. If that person is trying to kill me, you have a choice of living or dying. It's a choice. It is not something that is forced upon you. So if your choice is to live, you have got a number of options. To one, in love, understand that the other person who's trying to kill you is genuinely having a reason for it. And perhaps that reason needs to be examined. Perhaps it needs to be discussed. Now, yeah, the guy's going to pull and you can see the trigger whitening, the trigger finger whitening on the gun. Well, you know what? You need to you say, no, I got to leave. I got to get the hell out of here. You get the hell out of there. But you open yourself to more choices. When you're in fear, you have no choice. All you know is, that guy's going to kill me. Either I'm going to kill him or her, or I'm going to run. One of the two. I have nothing else. I have no way of discussion. So we precipitate conflict. Whether it's a conflict within your home, with your spouse or your children or your parents or your brothers and sisters, your siblings, or whether it's a conflict within your organization, within the country, or with other countries. That's the only way we can deal with stuff. We have a choice. If we learn that we have a choice, and if we learn that there is something greater in our lives than merely being protective and defensive and surviving and procreating, we can see that choice becomes a great inspiration, doesn't it? So this is for you. There is a choice in your life. And your life can move from here to there. Extraordinary. Your life can move where you wake up, or you go to bed actually every night, like that little child going to bed before Christmas Day. Why? You just know that next day is going to be absolutely magical. You're excited. You go to bed, sometimes you go to bed early, because you know what? You can't wait to get up. That's what happens when you're here. So you have a choice. That is the most inspiring thing I can give you. If you have a choice, you can transform your life. You can transform the world by making the choices that you have. So the next thing I want to talk to you about mastery. How do we master that? How do we actually get to the choice?